Alrighty, how's it going, everybody?
Great.
SOZO training. Tonight we're going to go over some new process and procedures with Trello, which is going to be led by Jody. Jan and I will be talking about a couple things here. One that's really important for the Trello training going forward. We're going to have 6 weeks out in advance that'll be scheduled out. And we need everybody, it will be mandatory that you choose 3 out of the 6 weeks. 2 of the weeks will be actually a SOZO session, and then the 3rd and final week will be training. So each month we'll have training, and then each month, well, of course, each month we'll have a couple of sessions for you to attend.
Yeah, and I just sent out an email today, so it'll be dated the 12th of March, but I was just saying that, you know, we're excited about tonight, training and getting everything simplified, streamlined, and I think it's going to be so much better in a lot of ways.
Much better.
And I am just actually taking a little kind of a sabbatical for the next couple months. So I just want everybody to know that. I'm still here, I'm around, I'm just not going to be, Sean's going to be kind of the director, so I'm kind of turning things over to him. So I think it's going to be awesome, it's going to be amazing, and we're going to move forward really, really fast and really well.
And I think with the new updates with Trello, it's going to be much easier with a lot more streamlining and make it, because I think prior was very confusing, very disorganized. With the new process, working both Jan and I and Jody and Barb and Pearl over the last couple of weeks have been working really hard to get this streamlined, to get the processes easier. So we're really expecting that things are going to be a lot easier going forward.
Mm-hmm. There definitely will be more than what we will cover like immediately at the moment, but in the process of doing all the restructuring, we wanted to get people kind of on the same starter page and have the focus on the fact that we need facilitator availability primarily, obviously, or we can't schedule sessions. So if we have that in a format that people can easily put their names in, then expanding to that 6-week window gives us as schedulers more than 2 weeks to try and fill an entire month worth of people. That's been part of a problem, is only having 2 weeks to correspond with however many apps there are and getting all those people scheduled for a month's worth of SOZO. A little bit challenging, because if we don't hear back from them, then there's this back and forth and you're like, help me. You know? So it would leave gaps a lot easier to have a gap happen because it was too hard to get everybody, you know, communicated with, because people aren't wonderful about responding to email, but we are putting some things in place to help that piece. Speaking of, and I will get there in a second, but for starters, I wanted to let you know what we are doing on the internal part. When we get an app, we will get an app, it'll come in. Kim, do anybody know who Kim Baker is? If you don't, you know, she's the cute person in the window when you walk in the door. But she will be getting the apps in. So, and we have more than one source that they come into now also. So we have a backup for them coming in. So we have more than one spot. If it doesn't get to the one, we will look in the other. So that's going to be helpful on our end for the receiving side. So we'll get the apps in. They will get an immediate, thank you for submitting your app, we got it. But on the front end, we wanted to improve things by telling them, literally, it will say, your app has been submitted. Thank you. Please allow up to 2 weeks for processing to receive a potential wholeness session date. Look for an email from wholeness@lifechurcham.com. Up front, boom, giving them a chunk of information. And actually, it says that on the bottom of the application right before they hit submit. It says it again. On the thank you that you had to submit. I'm thinking, we tell you enough times, it'll help, you know, they'll see that in their brain. So, and then when they get the date sent to them, like here's your open date. If you'd like this particular date, then we have a Google number, and I know Rebecca had a Google number, but it was attached to a different Gmail account. So I had to get a new Google number, which you guys will be able to use if you need to for immediate texting communication for some reason. But the best part about it is it's Google Voice. We can text from it. So she'll be able to offer the date, but she's going to immediately send a text to the person. It says, a wholeness session date is available. Please check your email. You have 72 hours for us to hold your date. And we've never given them a window either. So it's always been like, well, you know, I'll respond when I respond. So now they need to understand they've got to get back or we can't hold it. So
So, can I ask a question?
always, nice and loudly.
Are you, when you say it's a text, did you say a text, you're gonna text?
Text the participant first. They get
Okay.
texted to know that they just received an
Okay.
email.
Okay,
Please check your email for the
Okay.
date. So that, and then they have 72 hours to say, okay, I want that date.
okay,
So that we can quicker get a response from them. And after 2 days, if she doesn't have a response, another text is going out. You know, please know a date was offered to you, blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna back them up, you know, please check your email. People, the statistics show email reading is not wondrous at the moment, but 92% of all texts are opened. So text people pay attention to. So we thought, okay, let's go with what works. So that's how on our end, we will take care of the participant to get something booked, okay? So that's how that piece is gonna go. And then what happens on your guys' side, I'll explain while explaining these boards, because it'll make more sense than to try and tell you the process. So, and this is still a work in progress, but we're getting there. So you guys should be able to see this board, facilitator availability board, and the session communication board. Those are the two main ones, and you might not have been added yet, but this board will be on there too. I wanted to have no more than 3 boards that you guys are ever having to contend with information on. So simplifying down that part of it.
We have
And
a
that-
prayer also.
But we're gonna use training and important notices for everything, prayer requests, and we'll line out what all we want it to be for. But that, like, if it's something that needs to go out, it's like this meeting had to be canceled last minute, for example, it would be right there. That's an important notice, you know, alert.
Okay, so like tonight's training, where will that be for people to access?
The notice for it will be right here. And what I need everybody to do first and foremost, because I don't know if this happened when you first learned about Trello, but when you are on a board, I'm gonna open a board here. Da-da-da. It looks different on the desktop than it does on your phone. But when you're in a board, you have those 3 little buttons. It doesn't say show menu on yours, but it has the 3 little dots
Oh,
in your
yeah,
upper
yeah.
right corner.
Yeah.
If you hit those, you should get a list, and there should be the word settings. See, it's so different on the desktop. See the word settings, or you just see the little wheel.
Board settings or settings?
Just settings. It's a little, and sometimes it doesn't say the word settings, just a little wheel shows up,
Mine says board
mine says
settings.
board
Board
settings.
settings.
Yeah, board
And a wheel.
which is fine.
Yes.
If you got Android, Apple, we got that going on too. As long as you're on the cute little wheel right here, that same thing looks.
Mine's not.
It- Because if you're under settings, somewhere you should see the word watch.
iPhone, so I don't know.
Just look and see if you see the word watch or watching on your little chart.
Board settings.
Not on board
Okay.
settings.
I think it's up. I
It's
think
under-
No, hang on, back her up.
There's
Right
a
here.
watch on
Watch.
its own.
See the watch?
Yeah,
Watch
the
on
eye.
by itself.
And watch needs to be touched so that there's a check mark next to it.
Okay, so mine's an iPhone.
And it should,
Board settings.
yes, once you're in the board
Watch.
itself.
So we want it to say watch.
See the little dots?
Right.
Well,
It says stop watching now.
Hit the setting
Stop
button,
watch.
yeah,
watch.
so you are
Check
watching.
mark.
Okay.
It will change it from the word watch to
So we
watching.
want it to be on watch, correct?
You want to be
Right.
watching.
Watching.
On phones, it changes to stop watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means yours was already on watch.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
changed
so
it to it. After we
it
change
should
it,
say
it comes up as that.
Right, so it needs to be on watch.
Okay.
Watch.
You know you're watching.
Everybody's watching.
You're watching. That's, if you wanted to quit watching, you would hit stop watching.
Oh, okay.
Because the reason,
Watch. The reason being.
reason being,
Watch.
Yeah.
this is a big deal to have this be saying watch, whether it's an Android or not.
Because that's your next option.
Right, because what the deal is you can have all this stuff happening on Trello. If you're not watching like this facility, this board in particular, without watching it, notices are happening, all this stuff's happening. Unless you happen to go, gee, I should check Trello to see if anything's going on, you will get no notification that anything was ever put on that board. So that's really challenging. Unless someone sends you a direct takes you as a member, dumps you on something, then it's you, so it will come up. But otherwise, this way, so when someone goes in, like, if Jan goes in and puts in her Saturday availability dates, you'll see activity, they'll say Jan was on the board. Not that you have to necessarily care, but you do need to care when it comes to things actually happening, because then you'll know, it's a good reminder of what's happening.
Is this what we should be looking at?
Yeah, but yours is accurate, it's fine, you can be out of it now. You can get back off of that and just get back to the actual board itself.
Okay.
There we go. Now,
But you should do that to both boards, right?
yes, yeah,
Oh,
any
so
board,
then
make sure you're watching, and then make sure you're watching the little blue board. I'm gonna get back over here.
This availability from, this is what.
Now,
I
the
would
sessions / communication one, same thing. You need to make sure
Go in
you've
and-
got watch
Okay.
turned. And some of you might have done it at one point, because one time we talked about it a little bit, but we just weren't really clear.
Remember doing
Facilitator
that, it's there.
availability. is
That's the
what
one we
she's-
just did.
Yeah, now go into the one that says sessions, communication.
Oh, sessions and
Okay, I'm watching
communication.
on that too. so, okay.
It used to say SOZO scheduling, and it had a lot of cards on it. So on your phone, you had to do a whole lot of scrolling to get through all of the
Do I need to hit
cards.
the watch again
Uh-huh,
in that one?
yep,
So now it's set and you can back out of there.
Okay.
yeah, you
Now
can
I'm
back out.
It'll confirm.
There's something that's a nice little trick. See how I have this little star right here? On the phone, what happens if you wanted to in your same little menu? No, hang on. Where is it on the phone? Oh, it's easier on the phone. When you go in the menu piece on your phone, there's a little star right here in your corner. It doesn't show that way on the desktop. When you're back into settings, just back into the board, period. Sorry, there's an easy way to explain this.
One just dropped off the back of the boat. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it was.
If you
two
go
dropped
back
off.
into the settings, three little
Oh,
dots,
it is in the
use three
settings.
little dots. As soon as you hit the three little dots,
I did.
where is it? No, I don't, see, you don't know this is the difference between me and
Oh,
not knowing.
starboard.
Starboard, hit the
Starboard.
star.
Unstar.
So,
It says
so
unstar
now,
board.
what happens when you star a board and you get into Trello in the first place? Like you just opened it, and I'm like, okay, I've opened Trello, I'm gonna look at it. I gotta go back and show you. It puts, hang on, it's so hard on the desktop, I didn't do it, I should have done this on my phone. See where it says starred boards for the desktop? What it does on the phone is it puts all of those at the very top of Trello. So if you starred one, when you go back to your main home initial page on, and you're just on Trello, when it opens, those boards will be right there. You won't have to go in a list to find it, to see it stars them so they're right in front of your face.
Oh, that would be nice.
It makes it a lot easier because they're at the top of the list
How do I go back?
when
Looks
you're
like
on your,
all of mine are starred, I don't know how that happened.
somebody went and did it for you.
It must have been
Okay,
God,
so I need the facilitator to come up
because
with
I
two
didn't do it. It looks like they all say,
starboard.
Well, no, because it'd be on the, no.
Oh,
hang on.
okay. It brought
Me
it
and
up
Android
there.
phones struggle.
That's called starred.
so you go into the board.
Yeah, well, yours aren't actually starred, they're under the team, but they would show right here, it'd be board with a big huge picture, the ones that you need to see the most.
Facilitator.
So you have to actually star
So
them.
when
Here's
it
an
brought-
example, can I show them
Yeah.
your phone?
Yeah, availability.
See how they usually are in a list
Yeah.
down here?
Different,
If you star a board, is your primary thing right up top.
Right, which, mine's that.
Yes.
Started words.
back out.
Mine showed like that
See,
before I
it shows
started.
them right there, so you don't have to dig and look for them. They're like
Okay.
your happy campers, they're the top choices.
Okay.
And for me, it's huge, because I have about, 20 boards on my Trello, because I'm on 4 different teams.
So
Mine
they're
showed
all
up here
showing
before
there,
I
so does
started.
that mean they're starred?
No,
No.
it means, but if you wanted to, they would be
So it's already
here
there.
to here, and you
Back
hit
out.
this.
And you should look like me.
Now,
back
when
out
you
front.
back out, it's up here. So it makes a big pretty picture.
See, it
Mine
said
showed up here without
unstarred,
starring,
so
to
I
see the
thought
purple
that
ones
that
not
was
starred.
yours.
That's
Oh,
all.
okay.
So it's-
We're not
they
gonna,
were already
that
up there.
board will go
They
away,
were already up there
Yeah, when
before I
you're
started them.
just appear up here.
which is weird, because they usually won't ever be there unless they're started, so
It
who
says
knows?
your team boards.
Don't
Right,
worry.
which is
Don't
fine.
start.
Don't-
Don't worry about it, that's just an added bonus feature, you don't have to have it there. But, so we're gonna go back to facilitator availability, because this for you guys is the primary thing
Facilitator.
that needs to happen in life, okay?
I love that little way, that Fernie.
Do you like the fern guy?
Yeah, I like
There's like 700 pictures in there. You can pick and choose whatever you want. But anyway, which
It's like you're
the
running
staff
to the-
figured out that
running
there's
to the,
pictures.
almost to the end of the race and you're gonna win.
That's
Right.
right, we're winning.
Yeah, we got
You're
it.
gonna know how to do this thing or
So-
die trying.
What we tried to do to simplify this process, which I'm hoping you guys maybe got a chance to look at it, but you notice on the other one, all of these boards were like, they said sign up session, and it was like AM and PM and I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
there was, and then the cards kept going down the thing. It's like
Yeah.
I was trying to make this into two components. Here's your availability, and then you go to the whole other board when you'll see, oh look, I'm on a confirmed session. Two things totally separated. So what we did is there's a checklist feature. So when you open this up, this is how checklists work. Now some of these are things I put in as samples. Some of these are people that went in and did something. So anyway, what this is, I opened up the Thursday AM availability board.
Okay.
You guys are the ones that know when you're available.
Yeah.
We decided obviously on our end, that's not critical for us to know who's an AM and a PM person. I mean, we do want to, correct, Sean, we want to create a new full master list.
Yep.
So that you have your name and how many positions you're qualified to be in. So that if we had to find a last minute person, we could say, I need a 2, and we could put that out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, so we will get a master list of, if you're at 1, then you're at 1, 2, or 3 on the list. I mean, whatever you'll need is today, here you go. So, but the description of what we wanted people to do is what's in the actual description section, which is when the card is open. So hit the AM one, so you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, right?
Yep.
Hit AM Thursday and open it up.
Okay.
Each one of these is an actual date that's available, that's a Thursday AM between April, the beginning of April, and May 15th. That's our 6-week windows that we're gonna work with.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when you scroll, you've got all your days. There is 2 ways to do this. I noticed you guys did them a little bit different. And I don't have a problem with this because you can do it and add a person each time. If this is get checks marked, it actually takes them back off again, which,
Is that right?
but you don't have to do that because if somebody puts something in the wrong spot or they duplicated, I'm just gonna go in here and take it off. But what you can do, there's 2 ways to do it. I don't care if you guys, you tell me what you prefer, because looking at it on a phone and on here, very different. You can use it and add an item, which means you add your person down the row, or you have the ability on a single line to just keep typing. I can type and put whatever. So a whole team could be on one line.
Yeah, but we won't add a team.
That's not as much of a concern as like, I was looking at the fact if SOZO grows and we're doing a bunch of people,
Yeah.
this list between April 2nd and April 9th, when you add a person as every item, you'd be a long scroll on a
That's what we
phone.
did,
That's true.
that's what we
Okay.
did before.
Yeah,
is
that's
we
what
would
we did
just like,
before.
Sandy would be signed up, I'd sign next to her, Barb would come next, and it'd be a row. of-
Right, and you
Has to be
did them
signed
up in here, so it was harder to attach them to the dates, because you guys were typing it in the
We did
description.
individual dates.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
even-
it was the date and the description, whereas this way, it's really easy to tell who's under just that day.
Yeah, yeah.
When you look at it, you guys tell me, because you can look at it right now, because it's 2 different ways, and it's either gonna look like this and you're gonna type your name next to it, or we can have them go down in a row. I don't care. You're looking at it on a phone, I'm not, and neither will Kim. Kim will be looking at it on the computer.
Okay.
So on the computer, it's fine, because you're gonna see way more of your screen. But
Yeah.
if it bothers you guys, like, okay, there's, 6 people have put their time and I have to be the 7th person, you're gonna have to scroll down to do it.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'd like an opinion on that, really.
I guess my opinion is for now, I'm fine with it like that.
Okay,
And as we grow, then I think we can change it up and have it on a line.
That's
And
perfect.
see.
it's
Yeah.
fine with me. This is super simple to teach, because all you do is hit add item. I'm adding myself to that day with my current position.
Okay, so when to add yourself, you
Hit the
add
Add item to that
and then
date,
you put your
Name,
name under that date.
your name,
And then
dash, and if you're
to,
a 2.
okay.
But if you're, the thing is, if you're a 2, you're a 3.
Right.
If you're a 1, you're a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Only put your top number, I guess, because the
Okay,
rest
we
of
don't
it.
need to say or.
Because I may end up with 3 1s right there, and that's fine.
That's
It's
fine.
not a
Just-
problem. That
yeah.
you guys will sort out and go in and go, I'm the 1 today, and away you go.
Okay.
So putting more than 1 number is harder on us. It's
Okay,
just
that's
that
good to
much
know.
easier on this end to not have to go, well, wait. Because if you're 2, you can be a 3. I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of a
right.
given.
I see
So-
what you're saying. Okay.
Right, so we can, and if anybody messes up, feel free to check mark it, actually.
So that just
I
sounds-
checked marked it and it didn't go away. Just
It won't go away.
Dadgummit.
I mean, well, you
It's
can,
okay, she can do it.
you can make it go
Modify
away.
it though.
Because
You can modify it to something that's.
you can do whatever. I can get rid of any and everything.
Take it off.
If I do it here, it'll come off your phone.
Okay.
If you refresh your page, anything I do here,
Okay.
you should see reflected. Like Sean put his name in. Do you guys see it now
Yes.
on the second? Okay, so now that's just the new point of thing. This is what we're not going to do right now. Is put everybody on the same line. Okay, you will go in. It would be Barb. Add item. Joan types it in. Add item. Sean puts his name in. Add item. So hopefully it would be an awesome goal to have at least 5 names, especially on our nights, which is our biggest thing. If we had 5 names, we could have a set of 2 and a team of 3. We'd have 2 SOZOs then able to be booked on that Thursday night. If we had that all the time, it'd be amazing. We
And
don't
then
need
on-
as much in the morning, obviously.
On top of that, the biggest thing for this process and why we're trying to streamline it is there's been days when people have been available, but we don't see it, or the person can't get in and put their name on it. So we're losing people and we're not able to schedule SOZO sessions because we don't have the availability. This at least will give us the availability weeks out so we can get it scheduled and properly taken care of.
Right. And like he was saying, you're not trying to overcommit yourself. Like, I'm committing to 2 sessions in a 6-week window. I'm agreeing to do a minimum of 2. If you have more availability, that part's on you, and it's great. If you can put down more days, it doesn't mean they're all gonna get booked, obviously.
Right.
But if you are more available, that's beautiful. Then,
We can still sign up for everything.
right, because you will be informed, like when April 2nd films, like right now, I can make 2 AM teams if that was the actual people that are up there. I've got 2 1s, I got 2 2s. If I had 2 AM people ready for the second, boom. I can pop over on our side, which is the next board, and I can enter that person. So, not me. I know I'm saying me. This is not going to be me. Trust me. None of this is going to be me. Let's make that clear right now. Unless Kim's deathly sick and I have to, I know how to do it. But otherwise, no, I'm not doing this.
What if
I asked,
This
but
is-
it disappeared. Oh, maybe I didn't hit save.
You got to hit save.
Gotta hit save.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, save, yeah.
Got to hit
This is
save or
an
else you're just
AM
playing.
Session, and I signed up for it, and I don't want to.
For the
I only want to do the PM.
April
not
2nd?
April 2nd.
And if you check mark it, that's going to be ours because it puts a line through your name. So if you can't delete something for any reason, hit the check box. I'm going to go, whoops, they didn't mean to do that.
All right.
Okay, because otherwise we won't be using
So
the.
that checked me, and so you
Look,
won't put me
Look,
on.
you is gone.
Okay, thank you.
So after she does that, does she hit the,
If
Check
you guys can't see this part of the menu, because I don't think you can on a phone, it doesn't matter. We will be going in. If you guys check your name off, it's like, oh, mess up, I need to keep going. That's fine. We'll use the checkbox for that function. That will be great.
Yeah, because it's interesting, I tried to go, it allowed me to delete my name, but once I hit done, my name reappeared.
Yes.
So I'll just go in and hit the check.
Yeah. And that's the better part about them not being in a line, because if you mess up on a line, you're going to delete everybody.
Yes.
Because the line will go through the whole thing.
I
Like,
had
whoops!
deleted people and had to go back in and put it back in.
Whoops!
So you guys, as an example, real quick,
Yes.
Barb just prefers to be available for 4 SOZO sessions during the week.
A month.
Oh, I'm sorry, a month. I prefer to have 2 SOZO sessions a month, and then she could choose to take one of those off and do 1 training, or she can do all 4 and 1 training. I tend to choose 2 of them in 1 training. So that gives you options, and hopefully within a 6-week time frame, that's plenty of options. So hopefully you don't feel overwhelmed with this new process.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And definitely, any questions, any and all questions, please ask them, even if you don't feel they're 100% good questions. We can't help you if
Yeah, you gotta ask questions. Like Pearl, I just deleted you from April 2nd. Not because I don't want you to be there. I was
I told you I didn't wanna be there.
So that's why if you guys see stuff come and go on your phone, that's not a bad thing, you know. But that way, so now, yeah, like if we were gonna change anything on here, it would just be, I would put Joan-2, which I, on the desktop, can edit. There's differences between an app on a phone a lot of times and what a desktop can do. So
Oh, yeah.
that's how we want it to read. That's gonna be a super quick glance for the person having to schedule people. I've got 2, I've got 3, I've got a 1, and it's beautiful. It speeds up the internal process immensely. So, and then it's this, each card is basically the same, except for the fact, because obviously Thursday morning and Thursday night, the days of the week don't change. So when you go to the night one, Thursday night, Thursday morning. So just make sure when you go to click, I put them in lists as AM, PM, Saturday when you first look at them. So remind yourself before you go in, because obviously the dates on Thursdays will be exactly the same,
Yes, yeah.
whether it's PM or not. But when
Yeah.
you open the card, the only place that really kind of says it
Okay,
is right there.
okay.
So otherwise I gotta print it huge at the top of the list, which I can if that's another thing. And some of these are just samples that went in, and on Thursday night, I already put training night as the reminder that that's the 3rd Thursday night of the month, that's the training night. So it's a mental reminder, even though we can post it somewhere else. I thought it would help if it's also right here.
Yes, that helps immensely.
And then if you guys put your names down, you can keep adding yourself to it all you want. Hopefully that will end up being a really long list.
Yeah.
A whole lot of names for everybody making it to training.
You remember the asterisks?
Mm-hmm.
Do we do those?
You don't have to.
What do they do? Why would we want to?
I don't know why they were
Alright.
on there.
Okay,
Just, I'm not sure, because they don't provide a function that I know.
okay.
the list for PM is not complete for dates.
What happened?
It only goes to
There's
April
April
30th.
30th.
We didn't finish, so watch this trick. I get to go up here and go, add checklist. And the title for my checklist is, what's the first Thursday in May? Help me out.
I think it was the second.
Somebody help me out.
Just it would be the
There's
7th
a
or the
14th here on mine.
7th, that would be the 6th.
7th, yeah.
Seventh.
7th and
Seven.
14th.
And then the 14th.
Now, I
See,
need to know how to go to the,
See, the nice thing is I can go like this,
on the side.
Back out.
and I can add the date, and I can even add the people if I want to, which I'm just showing you that that's how that works.
Wow, that was quick.
I'm not going to add the people, but I can. Because I can copy cards, make checklists all day long. And then all the same thing I gotta do, just to add a date on our end, that's all we're doing to make it on the front end. Just go checklist, and then we got what, May 14? Boom. Done.
That's beautiful. That was quick.
So,
Loving it.
super easy on our end, yeah. So we'll have those in that way. I literally can take these lists, I can copy the format and move it on our side, so I'm not having to recreate these every time, and then it's just the date change, so.
The trainings always be on 3rd Thursdays?
Is that your goal, 3rd Thursday, or do you wanna ever move it based upon availability?
We'll relook at availability. Going forward, we'll start that way, but we'll relook at availability. and
Right,
see what
it
we-
ends up being a hassle,
If there's
obviously.
a day that we know we can't do it, is there a place to say not available?
Well,
It's like May 14th, I'll be out of town.
that's only
So
the
is there
second
a
Thursday.
way to
That's
yeah.
only the second Thursday, though. If it's the third one, it'll be the 21st.
The 23rd or
First. My anniversary. I know that day.
Jody,
I try to remember that day anyway. Yeah.
what does that mean, was due today at 5 p.m.?
Because our goal in putting you, like, say weren't having this meeting, okay? The goal for us is it's March. We're trying to fill April to May 15th. If we can put the date that will be within the first 10 days of the month for you to get in that next 6-week window, then we'll be set. Like, and I just did the 12th because I knew we had the meeting. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
at the beginning of
Okay.
April, I will say it'll be due. I need to do my math right now. You know what I mean.
Yes.
So I'll be putting a window of get your availability here for May 15th to June 30th.
Okay.
So you're always 6 weeks out. And you'll have dates at the beginning within the first 10 days of each month. You'll be looking at your next 6 weeks. And the dates will be off. They'll be written right on there. That's why I did that way. I wrote April 1 to May 15th right across the top line. So you're constantly knowing, oh, this is my availability I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's
I'm looking to be available in this window.
Yeah.
So the next time they go up, they'll say May 16 to April 30. And they'll be up there. These will go away. We're not duplicating and leaving anything, and that's the nice thing, the cool thing about Trello. If for any reason we needed that information, there's an archive button. And when you hit archive and not delete, it saves everything you archive. So I can always go back and go, well, messed up, because I deleted things or archived them when I didn't mean to. So the nice thing is you can go back and get it and pull it back up.
I got another question.
Sure.
I wanted to get into this on my home computer.
Yes, just like I'm doing.
There's a code, what do you call it?
Actually, if you go to Trello.com, whatever you signed up with, you have to use an email, and you created your own password for Trello when you guys first got on.
Uh-oh.
It's your email and your own personal password.
All right.
Because they're personal accounts. That's the one thing
Alright.
Trello does, it's your own deal. So whatever you came up with. The nice thing is it has the same forgot password as everybody else. So
Okay.
if you remember which email you used, which,
Yes,
yeah,
I do that. Yeah.
then
Okay.
it's fun once you start playing around with it on the
Okay.
desktop because there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Alright.
It's easier to read. It's just
Yeah.
it's easy to use. It's just most apps look different than
Yeah.
when you log into something on the computer. So that's what's going on here. When we add team members, it's super easy because what I do is I go into the team and I add members to the team. So when I hit the invite button, and I don't have to hit the invite button because they're on the team, so they get added to whatever the team is currently seeing. So that way we don't have to do it differently.
I didn't understand that.
On this account right here, it says team visible.
I don't see that.
You won't. That's why I'm saying the difference of us functioning on the desktop with what we can do.
Okay.
These are the kind of buttons I'm pointing out because if for any reason they did show up, I didn't want you to touch them for any reason. If you get to them in a random menu, any way, shape, or form, just don't touch them, okay? That was my true intent of that entire statement. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
If we sign up for more availability than 2 times and training, will you just assign us to a maximum of 2?
Nope. If you want to be available, and we have applicants, if you put yourself down for them, and we have people to put those slots in, then you've said, I'm available.
Okay.
That's why we're hoping for people to not overcommit, because that's happened, and then it's really hard, because it's like, okay, well, I committed to all 4, but I really can't do, that one or that one. We'd rather start on the slow end from that. Give me this much, and then we can build, because as we add team members, then we can add more SOZOs on a given day at a given time. So, but right now, we haven't even had really what I'd call adequate response from the entire team. Because right now, if every single team member put 2 down, we do SOZOs every week, that we have, apps for. And I think I have 13 apps right now.
Good.
And so those people are getting phone calls on Monday, by the way, saying we've been changing our system. Thank you for your patience. Look for an email, so they'll know that a couple people have called in here. But then, granted, they just submitted it, which is one of the reasons I added the blurb at the bottom of the app now, so that they're not like, you didn't call me. I sent my app in last night. I'm like, okay, well, it takes a little longer than that. So that's why we're trying to just almost over communicate, just because I don't feel like you can with this much information. It's like you can't say it in too many different ways because everybody receives it a little differently.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the goal there. And then the other board right now that you guys will be dealing with today is the sessions communication board. And this is where you'll actually see a session. This is our example person at the moment. She wants a Saturday session. So that's why these two both say confirmed. So if I had a confirmed Thursday AM session and Thursday PM session right now, for example, these all show up as an individual card when something's added. This has no cards, that's why there's nothing on it. If I had an AM one and a PM one, you'd have a card, and it would have the person's name, and it would say AM and their name. Below it would say Thursday PM and the name. This one is a Saturday one. She asked for Saturday. It's a Saturday card. What the deal is when you click it, say, oh, Sherry, what's happening? What we did as an example was we have labels which we will use as much as you will use, but they're going to help you figure out what's what with a card. In other words, what's happened with it. The label feature, I love it. That's why it's all color coded. So if you see blue, it's like, oh, it's confirmed. It didn't just accidentally land on this page. It's confirmed. But then we have labels so that Kim can go in and you guys can go in. This is the part that you will get trained on. Under label, there's a completed. So say those 3 members, I just added people up there just to add to the card.
I was saying,
I'm like, Rhonda, you're not doing this Saturday, okay? It's okay.
like I see my face on there.
Because the one thing about our ability to put them on there is it's the double backup that you're on that day. Because you will get notified and you'll get a reminder. So because you're watching the board and because we put a date in, Trello has a head reminder whenever we date a card. That's why we like to use the date system on everything, because it will tell you. And you're like, oh, I need to be there. So it'll help you. But what you can do is say, okay, Sherry, I don't even know who that was. That Barb, Rhonda, and Sean? Who did I stick on there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're like, okay, we're done. Sherry, it was wonderful. Well, it's not wonderful first because we don't know anything about her. So first, we're going to open her app. You should see a little attachment on that card. This is their app. And the cool thing about it is the app process now with JotForm color codes all the responses. So you just only have to look at the responses you are looking for that person. And it is a PDF, so when you open it on your phone, you can do the finger, to make it big. So you can only have to read the part. Otherwise, the printing's kind of small. So if you just squeeze and stretch it out, make it bigger.
Also, you guys are all part of the SOZO process, so we don't need to say this, but we need to say this. Anything on these are personal,
Yeah.
and they're not supposed to be taken outside the room, so we know that you guys won't abuse this, but you do have access to every single one that's on there. It will be removed, but
It will be removed.
just be careful.
Right, and it's because obviously since you all are on this board, you see anything that gets posted on the board, whether you're on that session or not. But the nice part about this is we've eliminated a random piece of paper in someone's modular somewhere with their personal information on it that gets lost or misplaced or doesn't get put away.
Yeah.
All of that has been a stressor, just on all levels. So this way, all of our stuff can be there. App comes in electronic, don't have to print it. You guys can read it right here, don't have to print it again. I haven't quite finished, but there'll be before they finish their application, there'll be an electronic form, the consent, the release form that they sign.
Right.
They can electronically sign it. So it'll be attached on their app.
That's so good.
They'll electronically sign it. They hit submit. We have all the paperwork we need on that person.
So good.
So
Nice.
paperwork wise, you'll have your truth sheets you're writing on and the walkout papers for them. That's all. Well, and your things, if you want to write on anything else, you can write that way too. So that's that plan. So our paper count goes down substantially, which is really helpful because we've always been concerned about people's information being in places it doesn't need to be. But, okay, you guys did it. You did the SOZO. This is Saturday, you're ready to leave. You're like, oh, well, look, I'm gonna go over here. And we just completed her SOZO.
Where is that?
So that,
When you, I'm gonna have to figure out, let me look on the phone. Yes, I don't ever look on the phone. Attachments, activity. Let's see where the labels are. Go back. Sherry, oh, it's right there. Your icons are, they should be, your icons should be, I'm not used to Android phones, so I have to.
You actually have to click on one of the labels. It doesn't do it by clicking on the label
Oh, okay, you're right.
icon.
So.
So you'll have to
before-
have at least one on there.
Well, but the confirmed will always be on there, okay, just to let you know.
So if I click confirm,
If you
it
click
pops up.
confirmed on the phone, that's why I haven't got to play with this on the phone. Then
Oh.
your other options come up.
All right.
You click completed, labels are edited,
Great.
she's done.
So,
So we all will know in the
so
office,
you got there,
so
open it up,
but there's
click on.
more than one thing that can happen. Did everybody find it?
confirmed.
So you hit confirm.
So it's in that second session, if they say they want a second session?
Yeah, just a second, I'll get to that, I just want to make sure they've all
Hit
got.
the green thing?
Hit the,
Hit-
in
hit-
the space.
hit
Oh, in
the
this page,
action
oh, in this
that
page,
opens it
okay,
up.
all right.
Cancel, no show, completed, confirmed.
Right, now click on,
Yeah,
click on-
just made her a no-show.
you made her a no-show.
Even though we give,
Okay, I'll
did give
do
her a
it
session.
through
she-
the-
If she's, yeah, now she's got everything going on. I don't know how she completed the SOZO and didn't show up, that's miraculous, but you know, we'll go with it.
This is great. Yeah.
So,
So how did you
So-
get
so
to
the-
the screen? I was busy with this.
actually, you click right on the colored box, it should open it up.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta get
Tap
to
on the
the,
box.
no, get to the new board, we're on the other board.
Oh.
We've moved to this session board.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I have a sample session in there. Where, come here. There she is.
Oh,
There's
okay.
Sherry.
There she is, okay.
So if you hit,
I want to
hit,
get to that.
well, hit
one.
confirmed,
I
and
want to
then,
get to that one. Okay.
yeah, see, and there's the rest of the things you
Oh,
can
I
do
see.
for her.
Okay.
Whenever, so when you hit that. So what happened is if she didn't show up, don't hit complete, okay?
Okay.
If no one shows up, go in there and yellow no-show them. Or they called last minute to cancel their car wreck, whatever the case is. If you actually have a comment around the no-show, like you know something that it would be nice for us to know,
Yeah.
like to call them back, they really did want to be there kind of
Yeah.
thing, then use the description box for that, if you would, rather than making a comment, because not that the comments aren't visible,
Yeah.
but if you go back in and type it right here, then when we go look, because that box should otherwise be empty.
Yeah.
We aren't going to put anything in the description box,
Yeah.
okay?
Exactly.
So that would be, you know, you can use it for both functions. It's no show, car wreck, please call back. Little bit of context, don't need much.
Yeah.
But if it was a needs another session, you would hit completed, needs another session. So now that person is green
Oh, okay.
and orange. Whoopee, wrong mouse. And then you go to the description and tell us what happened. You can say,
Yeah.
schedule another SOZO, I can't type,
ASAP.
As
in
soon as possible.
2 months, or ASAP, or tomorrow, whatever works. No, I can't type today.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So,
How quickly can we do this? So that way, we'll use that for our information.
see, that's so much better, and this is gonna be in lieu of the facilitator eval.
You will not do a
So we will
facilitator
not be doing
evaluation
that.
form.
We're not
Nope,
doing that. Yeah.
no.
Yes. Which is
Just
actually-
saying, not gonna happen.
It's really a good thing.
Partly because we know who's there,
Yeah.
members are attached, everything's on here that we know did or did not happen for that session. And that's why with the color coding, color's so much easier for your brain to quickly register.
Yes.
So you'll be looking for blue cards, basically, which are confirmed sessions, you know, if you can't find your day or you forgot what happened, or you're looking for yourself. I'm gonna take these back off for a minute, because this actually is a confirmed person. So, not for this day. She's just a sample. But if we had confirms that you guys are double checking, what one am I on? I forgot. You should see blue confirmed on anything we stick on these two lists. They need to be confirmed or they accidentally got there some other way. As soon as they are done, we will move the card. And once you guys get really good at this, if you want to move the card for us, it'd be absolutely glorious. Because the cool thing is, especially even on the phone, you can grab these and put them wherever you want.
So be careful.
I know. So at the moment, don't move the cards. We're okay. But once you guys get good at, oh, I'm labeling it. I hit complete. I know a second, okay, I've got this. Well, okay, well, they were completed, but if they don't need either one, but if they need either one of these we have to pay attention to needing another session or a no-show to call them back. Otherwise, they're just completed and they stay where they belong.
Yeah.
And we'll get rid of the card when we're done with it, because what we're going to do is go in and send them a feedback form,
Yes.
which head honcho will receive the feedback forms. So he'll know how the session goes from the participant's standpoint. Those have not been going out effectively for about 9 months.
So with the no-show, they're automatically, you contact them to see if they want.
They get one shot. Yeah, because we're not going to stay after them. Because sometimes people even
Right.
move or whatever, and they
Yeah.
don't tell us, or they just choose to not communicate. So we don't want to invest a bunch of time
Right.
in them, to get back. Because
Yeah.
there's people that it's bizarre to me that you will both not show, not call,
Yeah.
not communicate at all. That you were supposed to be somewhere.
Yeah.
That kind of surprises me because
Yeah.
you knew they knew. So that's what's like. That one's hard, which is why it's even less proponent to want to keep going after them because they didn't even want to communicate at all in the first place.
Right.
Makes it really hard.
We had one, and we were convinced it was probably the wife wanting him to, SOZO, because he scheduled
Trying
and
to
he
drag her
just
back in.
conveniently forgot. And then
Whoops.
he rescheduled and forgot again, so we thought, okay. The wife and the husband can figure that one out on their own.
Who filled out that form online? Good idea.
Assumption, but it was probably pretty accurate.
So, yeah, no doubt. So these will be your main ones. This one is where if you're in there and it's like, okay, we're totally out of toilet paper or toilet tissue or give us some mints, we stink. Well, that doesn't matter. Whatever you need, that's what that primary one's for. Because the other side of communication is on that other board that you guys will have, training and communication. That'll be more, even maybe more between you guys. This is for us. This is on this board is to tell facility people.
So
That's-
does
that's me.
it generate an email to the person that's?
No, we're on these same boards. And like with Kim, there's 3 big things she has to leave open. Google Voice and our back-end app thing and Trello. And literally, you can leave all 3 tabs open on the desktop. It's beautiful. She can just click and move one to the other and do this whole job. It's super wonderful, especially being as simple as it is. Did you have a question?
Do you guys have any questions? I know this is a lot. all
It's
at
a lot.
once.
That's why you can watch it again. But you have to listen to me. I'm sorry about that.
So,
But yeah, ask all the questions you can now. Get it, because it's all going on video, so.